When I was a young boy growing up in the 1970s, the only people that had a Porsche 911 were rich people. Certainly by the 80s, a lot more people had them, high-powered yuppies and things around town. By the 90s, they'd become a bit stale from my point of view, in that they were a bit of a well-worn cliche, and as far as I was concerned, the equivalent to a grown-up XR3i. Now that we've come into the new decade, they are the height of coolness, and I'd certainly put them in my list of the ultimate 5 cool cars, along with Aston Martin, Lotus and Alfa Romeo. But they can be cool for the wrong reasons. Now, the Porsche 911 doesn't have a traditional cooling system like most cars on the road, in that most cars on the road have a radiator with water in and antifreeze and hoses, whereas the Porsche is what we call air-cooled, and that relies on a fan to draw cold air into the engine bay and take away the hot air. Now, that system works brilliantly because Porsche have got it off to a fine art. However, the Achilles heel of this vehicle is the heating of the cabin, because on a normal car, we'd be able to pipe hot water inside the car under the dashboard to a little radiator and then blow it either to the windscreen or to your feet. With the Porsche, we're relying on air being drawn from the engine bay through a heat exchanger. Now, the heat exchangers are buried underneath the car, but we can have a quick look under the bonnet to see what happens. Now, the heat exchangers actually take the heat from the exhaust manifold and duct it inside, and with time they corrode and they finally give up the ghost. Now, if you look in the book, it only actually gives you 3 hours to change these, but you're not going to get any change out of 1,500 quid to have the job done. So if you are test driving one of these, or if you've got one, always make sure it's got a good heater and that you're getting plenty of heat out, because if you're not, you're going to have to start saving up. And although you may have the hottest car in the block, you could end up with a cold shoulder for the wrong reasons.